Hello there. It's good to have you join us on another episode of Health and Environment Insights. I am Kemi Dini. Today on the program, we're going to be having discussion with a guest that I'm going to introduce to you now. But the topic for today is environmental sustainability, the Ondo State perspective. And so today, we're going to be learning off the table of a seasoned expert. Join me as I welcome to today's program a seasoned environmentalist, Mrs. Boladale Akinyomi. She is here in the studio, and I know that she's really going to do justice to conversation around environmental sustainability today. She retired in public service as a general manager of Ondo State Waste Management Authority, and at some point she was a retired permanent secretary as well, and the chairman, Nigerian Environmental Society, the Ondo State chapter. And so today, as a member of the Public Analyst of Institute of Public Analysts of Nigeria, she's going to be answering questions and also explaining to us how we can have a better Ondo State environment. You're welcome, madam. Good to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you. And so today, you're going to be giving us enough expose about environmental sustainability, especially as regards our state. And so I'll put it to you. In your view, what practically is environmental sustainability? What does it mean?
Environmental sustainability, we'll first of all take it as professionals, so to say, then I'll break it down.
Okay.
Environmental sustainability means using environmental resources in a way that is useful for you to use it, and you consider generations to come, that they must always have their bits.
Okay.
When you look at environmental resources, it's all about us. I used to have a commissioner in those days. You see, that environment is, the earth is the fullness of God. Mm-hmm. You know, and it talks about it as such, which means everything in the earth is environment. Okay. And that is the truth. The air you breathe in, the water, the land, and even when you look at nature, and these are what sustains life. Okay. So which means environmental sustainability is about using these resources, the natural endowments, maybe below and above the land,
yes,
the water,
okay,
the air you breathe in,
right,
and you use them in such a way that you consider that if I have good air to breathe in, airborne diseases,
okay,
when I was growing up, am I going to live the same for my children? So which means each time I want to do something that I know will affect the quality of that air, I must give a thought to the fact that, no, what will happen if I keep doing it this way? Will it still be available? Will it be a clean air? And look at the water bodies. Our parents or grandparents of my own generation drank water freely from streams.
Wow. So why aren't we doing that anymore?
You know,
how safe is that?
You know, when we look at environmental challenges, we look at it from the anthropogenic, that is human induced, and the natural ones. As for the natural ones, you may not be able to do much.
Okay.
But science keep researching into how they can make it better. But the one that is caused by us, you know, as population increases, our demand for environmental resources will increases
too.
The number of houses you had in Akure some 2-3 years ago,
it's in the same now.
It's not the same. Which means the vegetation that were in those spaces, giving you good air to breathe, had disappeared.
True.
But it's still, sustainability is about determining how much of it you can take off, so that your children and your children's children will still have some air to breathe in, that they will not have to be importing air or manufacturing air to breathe. I just use that as a basic example of sustainability.
All right. I know that your career has spanned over a very long time. Don't let me say a long time, a very short time of almost 30 years. And so it clearly shows that you're a seasoned expert in your field of discipline. Now, for everything we do, for every phase we go through in life, there are challenges. And you mentioned that in the course of explaining earlier. I want you to explain to us some challenges that are being faced currently in the environment here in Ondo State, and how we can provide solutions to some of them, if not all.
Ondo State is faced with a lot of environmental challenges. We are not feeling the pinch too much now.
Okay.
Because of the level we are in. I can tell you, in some years to come, maybe another 5-10 years, we start to feel the pinch. Why I say that is, I recalled some 10-20 years ago.
Yes.
I have a cousin, or should I even say a brother-in-law, that would just take time off from Lagos I said, I want to come and rest in Akure. That even you are lucky here.
Because it's quite
But
peaceful.
you may not peaceful in every sense of it. Already now, I can tell you that we can't say the same. The last dry season spell hit us so much in August, which shouldn't be the case already. I don't know whether you saw the way the temperature was climbing.
But
That's climate change induced.
All right, because that's climate change induced.
It's climate change induced. Please hold it on. You can take me up on that later.
All right.
Let me move to other ones.
All right.
The rate at which you see waste being generated and disposed indiscriminately is it sustainable? Because I keep asking myself, when you go along the highways,
All right.
you see people throwing this waste, creating dump sites along highways. I tell myself, when the waste has occupied a lane, we all be squeezed to one lane. What will happen to us? I have a saying. I say that I hope this waste will not consume all of us. It's peculiar to Nigeria. And something has to be done urgently. Everybody keeps saying waste is wealth, waste is wealth. But our own is not wealth for now. So it's a problem in those states. We don't have to wait until the whole Nigeria rises. I recalled in my days, when I was an officer, maybe director in the Ministry of Environment, I kept saying we can set the pace. I don't believe in waiting for Abuja to solve a local problem, because I believe that our micro solutions will produce the mega ones, solutions to this problem. And why can't we set the pace? I do remind some of my younger ones who are in the profession. I said, do you know that we're one of the first states in Nigeria to have a state environmental protection agency in 1993. That Lagos came to us around 1999 or very bad. Now we go to Lagos to learn. Who are we learning from? We have the people here. It just requires the will to make use of those people to get going. I've mentioned solid waste management. Another issue is deforestation.
Okay.
When I read some publications these days, Oshun, Ekiti, as having forest cover, they are gradually deleting Ondo State from that list. And it's painful.
Why
is
is
it
that?
painful? It's that we know the forest we used to have. I recalled way back in the mid-90s or something like that.
Yes.
Or late 90s, I don't know. UNDP was bothered about this deforestation, and there were several workshops for our sawmillers on how initially manage the waste. And I recall that I paid several visits personally, even to the chairman of sawmillers, that everybody hopes to pass something on to generations coming. That if you hope to pass this sawmilling profession to your children,
yes,
you have to not rely on government. Right. Be deliberate about planting economic trees, wood, because it's the raw material.
Exactly.
But today, what do you have? Mango trees. I used to make furniture. It's not embarrassing.
Wow.
In Ondo State. That's deforestation.
All right.
Another peculiar problem I've seen is I discovered that there's low level of awareness and participation from the public in solving environmental. We are so withdrawn. It's government business. It's not government business. Basically, it's community business.
All right. Now, for all of the challenges you've enumerated, what's the way forward? What can be done? And I'd like us to take it from the rear now. Talk about the advocacy, sensitizing the public about what to do and how to go about it. So let's take it from there. What solutions can you provide to some of these challenges?
Advocacy cannot be underplayed. All right. Environmental sustainability, because a lot of times it's ignorance.
Exactly. For instance, people might not know, you need to replant a tree, or, the necessity attached to that. So what are you doing in that regard?
I want to go to flooding because we are in
the rainy season, yes.
I was passing by Ado Akure Road someday. And what did I find? I found residents along the Kota Road bring out refuse and pour into the new drainage highway just being constructed. I felt pained. That if only these people know the implication of what they're doing. We begged, we prayed, we did everything before this road was being constructed, and it has not been completed. Yet, we are silting it up. So what happens is when the water does not find a place to pass, it goes on the road, and the road is washed off again. So advocacy at community level. In fact, I advocated for environment management in the state, that landlords associations should be made compulsory by law. That every resident in this place must belong to landlords, so that we start from that level. They take responsibility for every environmental issue in their vicinity. I look at it, If you silt up your drainage that government has just constructed, and you start shouting government in the rainy season that our community is flooding, we should be bold enough to tell them that you take responsibility for it yourself.
You deal with the consequences of your actions.
So for me, we have to start from that level. Not even local government, community level. You move up before it will come to government. So that's public participation, which is very, very important. So that's where advocacy comes in. Professionals, non-governmental organizations like ours, we now join with government and experts to move from community to community
to sensitize them. I'd like you to hold on a moment. We'll come back to this conversation. Would like to go on a break. I'd like to go on a short break now. When we return, the conversation will continue. Stay with us. We'll be right back. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us today on this program, we've been discussing the topic environmental sustainability with the guest in the studio, Mrs. Boladale Akinyomi. Before we went on the break, we were talking about sensitizing the community, to be actively involved in sustaining the environment. I'd like you to continue on that because it's quite very important, bearing in mind that we are the residents and we are also going to be recipients of the consequences of our inaction.
Thank you so much. I think we have to stress that point this morning. We are going to be recipients of the consequences.
Exactly.
We have to sensitize them right from that, how do I call it now? Landlords Association, community level, and we make them take responsibility.
Yes.
In the sense that if, take for example, I find waste dumped in the wrong place in a community, I hold the landlord association responsible. That is it. And if it's formalized, if you need to charge somebody to cut, you charge the chairman. Environment is seen as a public good, and it doesn't belong to anybody.
True.
Do you get me?
Yes.
What concerns me is not my house. Eventually, it will be your concern.
I didn't construct the road. It's not my business.
So, but we have to hold somebody responsible. And I think it's about time Ondo State started to think about that. In Lagos State, if you weep in the wrong place, you pay 25,000 to jail.
Very true.
But you will not believe it.
If you throw waste from a moving car, you're apprehended.
In fact, one day I was passing along Ojaba when those barricades were there. You will not believe that I saw men stay on this platform and were weighing broad daylight. We call that open defecation.
That's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. And everybody was passing as if we should have given him a dirty slap. You are a date, you are a goat. It's embarrassing. Why would somebody do that? So, if everybody, the market women, it's an association that we have to go to. When you are in Ojaba and it's raining, come and see the way they sweep into those drains as they are coming. And then will be washed to the drains on the main road, and it will be silted.
And we'll
use taxpayers' money to clear those drains. So if the Yaloja of Ojaba knows her responsibility, that she's in charge of the cleanliness, total cleanliness of this Ojaba, otherwise we will close it down. I guess. So we have to look for small groups. As such, the KBS, everybody in community.
Exactly. That's where I'm about to go to. That in what way can we sensitize these rural communities and the traditional rulers to also, ensure that they preserve this environment?
Advocacy, enforcement, and the necessary government agencies. Enforcement is important. When I was in service, there was a KBS.
Otherwise, we might not comply.
No, he drove all the way. His community, I don't want to mention it because of what he came to report. He said in his communities, natives did not like to come and build fashionable houses, fine houses, because pigs were virtually in charge in his community.
Invaded.
He said so. He has stopped and talked that they are not responding, and they will now use the boards, that kind of, to dirty the walls of those houses. So he begged us to come to his community to do advocacy and then ensure that there is enforcement. Do you know that around Akure we still see those black pigs roaming about in some areas, even in Akure city as it were? So really, KBSs can play a role. They can start to even do competition. The cleanest community, the most responsive, environmentalist responsive landlords association, such that government can use that to be giving them special projects so that it will encourage others to comply.
Exactly.
I think these are things we can start to look at.
Okay, and on a personal note, let me ask you, what inspired your deep commitment to this choice of career, this career path? What inspired your deep commitment to it?
Honestly speaking, I don't really know. Because,
I mean, speaking both in and out of government, and you're still standing this way, what's the inspiration
I think I have
for
the
environment?
In fact, when my children were young, they never liked riding with me in the car because I start to pick them as they go, say, Mommy, please let us rest. So I wish everyone would catch this passion. It's very important, really. And the moment you start to go into it and you see the implication, I think you can also be infected. That's just it.
Because you see, we're all in this environment, and we need to benefit from it. So to have, especially as regards public health, we need to be concerned.
Everything
we really
comes
need
back
to be concerned.
to public health. That's just it. If there are more people, I imagine, having airborne diseases now because we are not really bothered about the quality of the air when it comes to water. When you see some people using agrochemicals, pesticides, the vegetation in the heat of rainy season will be black. Nobody regulates the quantity because the excess goes into the air. If it's one that can evaporate, the rest goes into the soil and goes to your vegetables and all the food you eat. Then the rest goes to the water, the fishes and all that.
Now, what's your advice to government looking into the future? In the next decade, where do you expect us? Where do you expect our environment to be? How sustainable would it be in the next 10 years?
What I expect government to do is they should not see the environment institution as an addendum, because it's the major one. Why I say it's a major one is everything you do inside the environment. If you don't have raw materials, it will be difficult for you to be industrialized.
True, very true.
If you look at the issue of mining and all that, if you don't control it, at the time we come, there will be nothing left. If you pick it from the fact that, let's say, flooding, you spend a lot of money. So really, they must be ready to commit resources, financial resources. An environment institution too should be one that only takes on passionate professionals. I say that, passionate professionals. I told people, even in my career, there's not a place to go and make money. It's not a place to. You have to be passionate to be able to make impact. That's just the truth. Because
it's not a place to make money.
It's not a place to make money.
And that brings me to ask you, how will you encourage the younger generation now, who most often we're wired economically? We want something that's going to give us money quite fast. And you're saying being an environmentalist isn't going to make quick money.
No,
so
it's not going to make quick money.
How do you encourage the younger generation?
To encourage them. Way back, I know I started encouraging some people to go into that profession, but they didn't sit there. In the sense that you can provide professionals for Nigeria in this field, internationally, if you are one.
As an environmentalist?
Yes, they are wanted all over the place if you really know your onions. Because, especially in Europe and all those places, they recognize the importance of environment, they don't joke with it. So really, it's a good profession to go in. And I look at it, it's a multidisciplinary profession. Sometimes when I ask somebody, you want to do sociology? It's a good one. No, it's not. No, I say sociology is good because you are talking about health. The social life, environmental sustainability rests on some pillars. The social, the environment, that is the raw biophysical environment.
Yes.
It rests on the economy of the people, because when people are poor and you are telling them, no, you cannot cut these trees, they tell you, what will we eat, isn't it? So the economic life of people must be sustained. So it's a balance. So I want to encourage young professionals to come into it, because the world is your field. That is, you are not a local person. If you are a good professional, you are a global professional. That is the truth. I can say it confidently.
But you're not a local professional.
You are a global professional. Any aspect of it you pick.
So it means you're relevant everywhere in the world. Anywhere you find yourself as an environmentalist.
You are really a good professional.
Wow, that's good to know. So it's really encouraging. Although the part where we can't really make quick money is also
I don't think people should be making quick money. They should be deeper than that. Because should be able to leave impacts. So sorry, by the way, look at the Ondo Road Avenue where we have trees. When we were going to plant those trees, there was every discouragement because money came late. But I was bent that this would be done since we have the money.
Wow.
It's still standing today, 2013 then.
Wow. Good to know that you have made an impact, of course, in your field of discipline. It's so good to have you. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate your contribution on today's program, and I look forward to having you again as the lead officer from, representing the Nigerian Environmental Society Ondo State chapter. Thank you, Mrs. Akinyomi. On this note, we're going to call it a wrap today. I look forward to seeing you again on this program. Be good. Wellness is guaranteed if you take care of your environment. Bye for now.